Aiden O'Connell's debut. Aiden O'Connell is a 4th-round pick, 135th pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. He was 15 of 18 for passing, and adjusted completion percentage, because 2 of those were drops, was 94.4%, which is ridiculous. 141 passing yards and a touchdown. He had 2 big-time throws via PFF if you follow them. He spent 4 years at Purdue. In 33 games in college, he had a 66% completion percentage, 9,200 yards, 65 touchdowns, and 30 interceptions. Okay, so this is where my point's going to start. He's in Las Vegas with Josh McDaniels. They just acquired Jimmy G, okay? Obviously, if you're in a Josh McDaniels system, Patriot system, you're going to have to run their system. It's not like a loose system like a Sean McVay type thing, And Sean McVay, obviously you want to play in the system, but you have a little bit more, I feel like, if you're a vet, a little bit more room to move around. So the biggest thing that they always talk about with the 49ers is, Shanahan's going to want his guy, and that's why they got Jimmy G. Well, McDaniels is going to want his guy too, because they're both running a very, to the T system. I feel like if you can take Aiden O'Connell and get rid of those interceptions that he had in college, because he basically had a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, which is not horrible, but you'd like to clean it up. Jimmy G signed a 3-year contract with basically an out after year 2. Jimmy G has only played like 1 full healthy season. I think with the way that we saw O'Connell kind of run the offense in that preseason game, now I know it wasn't against the best competition, I think it gives Raiders fans kind of a brighter feel to the future. And there's no guarantee that Jimmy G plays every game. He's only going to be there for 2 years, which would be 2 years of Aiden O'Connell sitting. I think you actually may have something here. And like I said, this is a complete overreaction because it's only 1 preseason game. But McDaniels is a 6-time Super Bowl champion. The Raiders can move on if they want to from Devontae Adams after the 2 years as well. So it opens up a lot of money. And if you look at it, yes, McDaniels didn't have much success as a head coach in Denver, but his quarterbacks were Kyle Orton, Tim Tebow, and Chris Sims. So if he's got a guy that he can mold since he's been a rookie and, a guy he can sit under in Jimmy G who's had deep playoff runs, I think the Vegas Raiders might actually have somebody here that they can look to the future with.
Well, I was going to say, too, and absolutely, it seems like you were saying, to your point, 100%, it's in a good window for them, too, because right now, let's just be realistic. The division is super competitive. Again, not that the Raiders don't have any chance in the world, but it's very tough right now. And, the cards are stacked against them. However, like you said, the situation in a couple years, up-and-coming team, freeing up a lot of money, and back to Aiden O'Connell just himself right now. I mean, bro, he was balling out that first game. Again, just 1 game. I don't want to overreact, just like you said. But the 1 game, he was standing tall in that pocket. He was not dilly-dagging. Whatever the read was, he was going to make the read. He's going to look. He's going to make a decision. And that's how he plays. We can already tell. There's not going to be much, moving around. He's dropping back. He's looking. He's either going to throw it away or he's going to throw it low to someone's feet and he's, give him at least a chance. He's going to give his guys a chance. He's going to read the field. You like that. And he's very NFL ready. Perhaps a lot more NFL ready than a lot of people thought. And he looks really good. Again, we need to see this next game coming up here, too. I'm excited for that. But then again, it just gives us so much more reason to – it's kind of like makes this next preseason game kind of like a primetime game coming up here then.
Yeah, he had – and if you watch the game, too, not only were his stats good, like his ball placement was really good. Oh, yeah. So, like I said, like it's very interesting because, in 2 years, obviously you'd like to maybe get him in there sooner. And that's why, maybe that 2-year deal for Jimmy G doesn't look quite as bad now because you actually have someone you might feel a little bit confident in. I think it's also interesting, like the time frame of, if you kind of look at like where the Broncos and where the Chiefs are always going to be contenders. So it doesn't
the alarms.
Yeah, I got mine set too. So if you look at like where the Broncos and the Chargers will be in 2 years, it's kind of a question mark because of their cap and like what they've committed to already. Whereas like the Raiders are going to, hopefully be a little bit more loose on cap. The Chiefs are always going to be contenders. So it's like they can actually make a run for the playoffs maybe in 2 years, something like that. So I don't know. I don't really have much more to say on that other than like out of all the rookie QBs, Aiden O'Connell definitely looked, I don't want to say the most pro ready, but just like integrated into their system.
100%. I'll I'll kind of like throw a little fork in the road here and give us a little other perspective. But this could end up being something that could see coming some way midway, early point. Who knows in this point of the season? But let's say Jimmy G tweaks his foot, tweaks the shoulder, something like that. I mean, I think there's no doubt we could see him step in this year at some point, see what he's made of right off the bat. And again, maybe that's not the best case scenario. But then also, if you get him in early and he looks like he's already on par to be better than Jimmy G, or if not the same, and then you say, you know what, maybe we can cut this contract loose a little early, save some money here and there. I don't know how his contract exactly is structured, but possibly something we could see too. That, on the other hand, is much more unlikely. But, just throwing it out there because, the way the NFL works, it certainly is a possibility.
Yeah. No, I agree. The Vegas Raiders definitely have an interesting future. I think it'll also depend on how well they do this year.